I just sneezed. Welcome to the Wayward Widow. I slept last night. You guys, why does every person who does a video call people you guys? I should say, hey family. I slept last night. I slept. What I do through the night is I turn my messenger off. I need a tissue. What is it with the eye? Same thing happened yesterday, remember? Now that didn't do it. My eye did not water until I turned the camera on. So through the night, I turned Messenger on silent, my Facebook Messenger. And I get settled in about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So after that time, if a text comes through, I typically won't answer it because I'm usually trying to sleep at that time. That doesn't mean I am, because every night's different. But anyway, and then I try to catch up. I do catch up in the morning. So I fell asleep by about 8:30. I actually turned my text on silent also, which I don't like to do, but I do. I did last night because I had to, because I was so tired. But I slept, and I had the weirdest dreams. Can't remember one of them, but I had a whole slew of weird dreams. I was up at midnight to go to the bathroom. I was up at 3 to go to the bathroom. Fell back to sleep until like 4:45, which is monumental to me. I made a coffee. It's kind of early. It's 11 o'clock, so it's early for me. But I wanted to get this video in while there's a bunch of stuff fresh in my mind. I got stuff to tell you. I got all kinds of things to share. So it's going to be a plethora of information today. You can look that word up, but all the family, I was going to say all you guys, all the family knows what the word plethora means. Sometimes I don't like to have the microphone right here because then I swallow. If I play the video back, I'm like, I wonder how annoying that is to people, my swallowing. But I have to swallow, I'm sorry. And then at 22 minutes yesterday, I said, 22 minutes, I'm going to stop talking. And then I talked for another like 6 minutes. And you're thinking, yeah, you're not going to stop talking at 22 minutes. It's July 30th. I'm thrilled because tomorrow's the last day of the month. We're going to roll into August, the month of Leos. I have the card. I have it backwards. Stephanie Perkins says, the more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you. So if you're really okay with yourself, if you're really good with where you are in life, who you are as a person, you're going to let stuff roll off. The action is write down your top 3 values in life. Filter all your choices through these values before making decisions. Top 3 values. I have to think on that for a second. Okay, something just bit me. Can you see that? Can you see that right there? See that? A little something, a little somebody right there. What the heck? It's okay. All right, so where am I? What am I doing here? First things first. This little book came from Lowe's. They gave them out every so often, and Sky would bring them home, and then I just started using this as like a little bit of catch-all notes. So I am on 16, 17. Today is day 17 of my taper. I'm doing really well. Day 17. I'm doing really well. So well that it almost has me a little nervous, but I'm not going to complain. And then I showed this book before. I got this from, I think I got it from Amazon. I think I got it from Amazon, either Amazon or Temu. And it was supposed to be like my diary because it's got the little lock on it. But I use it as my catch-all notebook. Like, I put all my appointments in here. It's so messy, but I put my appointments in. I put my over-the-counter card uses in. I put my, like my odds and end things like buy a phone. I'm waiting on a new Discover card because mine expires in a couple of months. So just things like I got an email and they said, watch out for a new Discover card coming in the coming months. And so any little notes, miscellaneous stuff that I have, like different numbers and things. So I think it's good to have a tablet to keep notes on, whether you're someone who's left behind or not. I think it's good to have something to jot everything down on. So I finished, let's see, can I get it without knocking everything over? I finished the sea turtle. I'm in all black today. And I put on, this is the first time I wore this one. It looked so tiny, I thought, is this actually going to fit around my neck? But it does. And then I just added this one with it. No earrings, though. I didn't bother. It's all done. All finished. I just have to figure what do I want to do with it now. It's super pretty. I think it's super pretty. It was fun. It was fun to do. And I started on a little turtle. It's going to look like this. Can you see that when it's done? And I did the first 8. I did the first 8 numbers last evening, which it was really easy to do because each number from 1 to 8 only had a couple little diamonds to put on. So that's what she looks like. We're going to call her a she. She's got flowers in her hair. I'll have to give her a name. Help me name my female turtle here. Do you see how many N's there are? Everything around here is an N. They're all N's, so it's all white. So they gave me two packs of white. So that's going to be a lot. I have my water, but I need to add cold to that. I'll have the ceiling fan on, and that's it. The sun's going in and out. We're supposed to have rain tonight in the middle of the night, and temperatures aren't bad. I'm not complaining at all. So I went a little light on the I think I went a little light on both of them, or I didn't stir enough. I used the French vanilla and I used the Cafe Mocha liquid coffee mate. And the word I was trying to think of yesterday when I said it, and then I went to say it again, and I had widow brain, was saturated fat. It's not showing any saturated fat, no poly, no mono. There's a 2% fat content on the label of Coffee Mate with some sugar. So, okay, so I got to tell you, the visiting nurse showed up. The visiting nurse's name was Muhammad, so she was a he, and he smelled really good. I don't know what he was wearing, and I didn't want to ask, but Sky would have, well, no, he wouldn't have. Sky had an aversion to scents, and almost everything to him smelled like gasoline or like chlorine or something. I was thinking, though, that would be a great scent for Sky. Anyway, very nice guy. Thank goodness he called at 10 of 10. I had a 9 to noon block, and I was just hoping I wasn't going to be that noontime person, you know. I don't like people in my home. I don't care how they smell. Well, I mean, I do care how they smell. You know what I mean. But I get really uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, let's get this over with. And I only did it, the how they call it? Home wellness visit. Aetna does it once a year, and then you get a $50 gift card. So now I've got to call into Aetna, tell them I did the healthy home visit, and then they'll send me a gift card. $50. I think I'm going to get a CVS card, I think. It's that way I can get some paper products and I can get some makeup. So some things I need and some things I want. That's how I try to do that stuff. So he said he would be here at 10. He arrived at 10:20. He was out of here in 20 minutes by 10:40. And he asked all the questions, just that I don't have any physical stuff wrong with me. You know, I'm on 2 medications, and hopefully within a year, only 1 medication. My hope is that within a year I'm done my Ativan. That's my hope. Call me foolish, but anyway. So he did. He tried to do blood pressure, but my arm is so tiny, and he had this giant cuff, and he just couldn't read it. And he looked at me, and I said, 90/60. It's always 90/60, so he put that in. And heart rate was good. Oxygen was great. And he had and I don't remember how they did this with Sky, because he had one of these done a few years back, but he had a bar, like a silver bar, that he had me pull my pant leg up above my knee, and then he laid the bar above the knee, and I put 2 fingers on either side of the bar, and then it picked up my heart rate. And so I was able to sit here and watch an EKG on the tablet. And so for like 1 minute, he did an EKG, and I'm looking at the waves and stuff, and he said, perfect. And I'm like, yes, okay, that's what we want at almost 65. Like, we want that. We want no outside medications, right? And you know what I mean by that. I mean, I'm on metoprolol for the skippy heart thing, which the skippy heart could be caused from the Ativan. It's a possibility. I don't know. If I'm not on the Ativan, would I have the skippy heart? If I don't have the Ativan and I don't notice the skippy heart, do I need the metoprolol? See, that's my thinking. That's my thinking. That's my goal. My goal would be to be on no pharmaceutical medication as I age into death. That's my goal. Anyway, in saying that, so what else? And then he had me do like a breathalyzer thing to see, not to see if I was drinking, but to see how my lungs were working. And that went fine. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm not diabetic. I've never been diagnosed with cancer. I don't get any of them, none of them. And I just don't believe in that stuff. So he was done in 20 minutes. He said, sign here. And I'm like, is that it? Are we done? He said, absolutely. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Because I was going to cancel. I was getting anxious and I was going to cancel. And he said it went so quick because they set aside an hour for each person. He said, but because I don't have any physical health issues, like my stuff is anxiety. So there's really no places on that tablet for people with anxiety. Like they don't get into that end of things. Isn't that interesting? But I don't care. So now I just need to write in my little book to remember to call Aetna to get my gift card. And they send them pretty quickly, because when I did my phone wellness check, I had a $25 gift card within like a week. Yeah, it was really quick. I feel so much better since I slept. And I slept weird too. Like I had weird dreams. My sleep felt weird. Like when I got up at 3 o'clock to go to the bathroom, I felt like I had been out drinking all night. Like I felt really groggy, really like I felt like I had taken 4 times the amount of medication that I normally would, but I'm not. I'm actually taking less. So I found it interesting that I felt so heavy-headed with less medication than with more medication. I don't understand that. That's a question for my doctor. However, I slept, and then when I finally woke up at 4:45, I felt good. Like all the weird feelings were gone, and I guess that told my body that, okay, you got all the rest you needed. And that was that. So I knew I had this nurse visit. So glad to get that done, honest to God. And yeah. So I got a package yesterday. Someone sent me a gift, and I'm just opening it now. I just opened it now. So I know what it is. Here's the name of the company. I don't know if that's backwards on there. You probably have a glare. These are rosary beads. Someone that I talk with on Messenger asked me if I would like rosary beads. Now, my first statement was, but I'm not Catholic. Because when I looked up rosary beads, because I've never had them, it said that Catholics use them. And so I said to this person, I'm not Catholic. And she said, that doesn't matter. Okay, I got a best wishes for you card. And so she sent me a video of someone explaining how to use the rosary beads. So they come in this little pack like this little pouch. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to try because I don't want to butcher anything. So I need to watch the video. Come in a little bag like this. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I feel nervous. Okay. Wow. They are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Just a gorgeous blue, like a crystal. How stunning. I don't use that word often, but it's stunning. Okay, so now I need to learn how to pray with these. I'm a complete novice. I know nothing when it comes to rosary beads. I'll be the first person to say it. But thank you. Thank you to my friend Mary. I'm going to throw her name out. Thank you to my friend Mary for she's been walking my path with me very quietly as I figure everything out in my life. And I'm so grateful to her for that part. It's interesting how each person I talk to like plays a different role or a different part in my journey. And fills a certain gap that I'm experiencing, each person. And I find that interesting and fascinating and so helpful and comforting. All those words, all those, what are they, adjectives? I never did well in the English part where I had to know all the parts of speech. Never did well there. However, I did really well in writing stories, writing poetry, writing things. Look, look, I almost said you guys, family. My hair is down past my shoulders now. That is crazy. I was looking at a couple pictures of me from 2022 that I have on Sky's tablet and my phone, and my hair was like about there at that point. But just not that long ago, I had cut my hair to chin length to try and give it a little more body. And I'm serious, the amount of roots that are showing that should not be showing like this quickly, I'm very happy that my hair is coming back after the trauma of a Sky's illness and his death. When we go through a trauma, and going through the death of a loved one, or going through a divorce, losing a pet, losing a job, having to change a home, even kids going off to college, families becoming empty nesters. It doesn't matter. All of these things are such dramatic life changes. They're traumas to a degree, depending on, how we react to each thing. And so with traumas come physical problems. My hair was falling out so fast. It was scary. My ocular migraines, where I was getting the squiggly lines, were more advanced, coming more quickly, all that. I was having a lot of bone and muscle pain, joint pain from moving Sky, like turning him, cleaning him, pulling him up in bed. I'm tiny. I'm a tiny girl. I'm 5'2", and right now I weigh 97.8 pounds as of this morning. When I was taking care of Sky, I was weighing 88 pounds. So I have put weight on. That's because I ate a lot of junk food. And my doctor said, don't worry too much about that. You needed to put a couple pounds on that skinny frame. But I've always been a tiny girl, tiny framed, a little tiny Irish woman. But the trauma to my body, one, from working with him around the clock, and two, from watching what was happening to him and I couldn't stop it. Working with the doctor, or trying to, the pharmacy, getting the meds, trying to figure out what was going to work and what wasn't, trying to figure out what was to come, getting him up and around and trying to keep both of our morales up. And that's a big one, is when you know your partner is going to die, like you know it, you see it, you got the diagnosis, you got the time frame, like trying to live your life with any kind of happiness or okayness is really hard to do, because like you haven't lived through it yet, but you know it's coming. It's ahead for you. And so the anticipation of it is awful. And how to get through that, I think back on each day with Sky, I just kept taking that and putting that on the back burner, like, he's got a lot of time. I had to do that because one part of me thought he did have a lot of time, and the other part of me couldn't accept the fact that maybe he didn't have a lot of time. So, until something happened that I couldn't change, I put it on the back burner, and I tried to stay in the moment with him. That was my goal every single moment. That doesn't mean that I didn't go to bed and cry every single night so that he didn't see me. And then I also know that he would lay in the hospital bed and cry, because finally one day he did tell me, he said, I don't want you to see me cry. I cry when you're not around for what I know we aren't going to have. And so he was very intuitive to what was going on with his body, like he knew. But what happens to our bodies as we're tending to our loved ones is a mess, So I'm just now creeping into that 6-month mark where I'm trying to put everything back together and take a little better care of myself. Because during that time, I completely forgot me. Like, I didn't even exist. I was in like robot mode every single day. It was just like, what does Sky need? What does Sky want? How can I take better care of Sky? How can I help Sky? How can I keep Sky comfortable? Like everything. My world revolved around this man, and I didn't exist. I ceased to exist when he became ill. And yeah, so now all of a sudden now I have to exist. And I read a post this morning on Reddit where a woman who just lost her husband, it's brand new, fresh. It's only been like a day or two. And she put a long post, and she couldn't have been more eloquent and more hitting the nail on the head with what she was saying about losing her husband. It's like, how do I do this now? And all the little things that they did together, all the little things, the jokes they shared, the way they rubbed feet at night in bed, just all these little things that she's recognizing that are right here. And how do I do this now? How do I, And then there was a woman over on TikTok that's in her 50s and is going through a divorce. Her husband left her and the kids for his affair partner. That's a trauma. And she was saying, how do I do this now? I only knew one man for 30 years. For 30 years, I was with this man. I stayed in the marriage. Even while he cheated multiple times, I stayed. And then he left. And he basically forced her into filing for the divorce because he was just gone and doing nothing but living with his affair partner. And so she had to jump through all the legal hoops in order to get things going. And she was saying, do I even want to date in my 50s? Do I even want to think of that? Do I even want to think of another man coming into my life after being with this man for 30 years? I wanted to go back to work so many times, and he said, no, don't go back to work. Don't, stay here and raise the kids. And she said, now I've got to figure out what it is that I want to do, and what can I do, and what am I skilled to do at this point, So again, another trauma, another type of trauma, but it takes its toll. As she's going through the weeks of this, you can physically see it on her, the changes in her as she's maneuvering this divorce. So there's so many different types of grieving and mourning that we go through. It's not just losing someone to death. It's so many different things that we go through, that we completely struggle through. So on that note, I am done talking. I will watch my videos and learn this. And thank you again, Mary. I so appreciate the gift. And I love the constant teaching a gentle teaching as I maneuver all the ways, you know. So I'm going to go. You guys, you know how to get a hold of me off of here over to there, you know, over on Facebook Messenger. I don't have anything now until Friday morning. I talked to my daughter, and she checked on me this morning, which was so sweet. She knew I wasn't doing well yesterday, and she sent me a text this morning at 10 o'clock, which was 7 o'clock her time, and asked if I was feeling better. And I so appreciated that. That she, you know, took the time, remembered Mom, and sent off that, are you okay? Are you, you know, how are you feeling? Thinking about you. I love that. Yeah. So take care, hang in there, inch by inch, not yard by yard. I forget where I got that from, but from some wise person who's going through it. And I'll see you in a day or a couple of days.